It's the Flow Friday Night Sports Show, and it's time for us now to have a look at what's going on in Great Flinders football. Now, not only that, we've got a bit of EP football flavour in general with our man Chris Prime, who joins us on the line. Primey, how are you?
Good, Regs. Happy after a week off.
I'll bet. How's the body feeling?
No, still poorly, but I'm still happy after a week off.
Fair enough. Hey, look, before we have a look back at last week's games and what's to come this week, my understanding is in your hot little hand you may have a copy of the Mortlock Shield revised program. Is that right?
I have seen the copy of the program, so it's going ahead with the 5 leagues playing each other once over the 2 days. So shortened games, but everyone plays everyone, so there'll be no discrepancies to who's the best at the end of the day.
Now, there was some talk about the Sharks coming in. That's not going to happen. When you refer to the 5 leagues, I think it's actually 4, but Lincoln always splits in half into districts and cities. Is that right?
That's correct, yep. 2 Lincoln sides and Western Air, Eastern Air and Great Flinders.
So there'll be basically you'll play 2 games on the Saturday, 2 games on the Monday, and they'll be, I'd imagine, halves rather than full-length quarter matches.
The program says an hour and 10 minutes, so if you say an hour a game, so you've got 25-minute quarters and 5 minutes in the middle sort of thing, so 5-10 minutes. So.
And also the addition of a women's clash on the Saturday, is that right?
Yeah, the day's kicking off with a women's match. Probably missed the boat a bit there. I think we could have highlighted it and either slipped it in the middle of the day, so it really became a spectacle rather than putting it in right at the start. And I think you have a bit better crowd and a bit more interest to it if it was in the middle of the day. Yeah,
I'd tend to agree with you there, actually. But I'm sure it'll be a thrill for the girls no matter what, being able to play on or during that Mortlock Shield Carnival. Kicking the dew off the ground, though, at 9 o'clock, gee whiz, that's a tough ask.
It is. I've played in a couple of 9 o'clock games, and it's probably the more challenging time to play down at Mortlock.
So that's good news. Mortlock Shield going ahead this year. More details closer to the actual event. But for now, Primey, we'll move on into last week's A-grade games, and we're going to start at Carcoo, where it was the Eagles, United Yolana, knocking over Ramblers 11-9-75 to 6-6-42. So the Eagles going okay early in the season, and perhaps they'll be around the mark again, as we said last week.
Look, I think they are. They're just that there's enough guys there that know what they're doing, and Ramblers took it to them probably for the first half. Still only 3 or 4 goals down at half time. Each quarter, the Eagles just got away by a goal or 2, and in the end, that was enough just to let them run away with a comfortable win. Won't say easy, but comfortable.
Yeah, no doubt. Old Firm at it again up front for the United Yolana boys. Matty Cretton 3, Casey Carr 2. Watto got 2, and the other Cretton boy got 2 as well. Carr, Cretton, Manane, McLaughlin, there they are, all of those names named in their best. For Ramblers, Haasma booted 3. Best, Dennis, that's Logan Dennis, I'd imagine, Jesse Rule, and Starkey as well. So some of the usual suspects for them as well.
Once again, Ramblers have got a reasonably young side at the moment, and it's good to see them going with the bigger bodies of Yolana, so they'll just continue to improve, and Yolana will still be hard to beat come the end of the year.
The other A-grade clash wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be in terms of the scoreline, but it was still a very comfortable win to the Lock boys, who did it on the bit in the end over Air United, 16-10-106. The Saints, plenty of scoring shots, just couldn't quite get kicked straight. 6-15-51. Bit of goal-kicking practice needed out there in Ungara.
Yeah, I think so. But once again, Air United being a younger side, really stayed with Lock till half-time. I think Lock in the third quarter kicked 7 goals to 1, and that sort of just blew the game right apart. And when you've got a younger side, it only takes 5-10 minutes. You just drop off that work rate a bit, and the other side just gets away with it. So probably an easy and comfortable win to the Roos in the end, but the first half, they really had to work for it.
Travie Beard and Kobe Siebert combined, if you don't mind, for 11 of Lock's 16 goals. So naturally, they were named in the best, along with Pearce and Hiller and Kay. For the Saints, it was Butler booting 3 up front. Dunn, Forrest, Gale, both Forrests were named in their best. So They've obviously got a few players back and a little bit more competitive, which is good for the comp.
Oh, it is. And I think most sides, if you're a little bit off the ball this year, like if you're 5 or 10% off, you're going to get really pushed or you're not going to be in the contest, one of the two. So you've got to be right on your game every week, and I think that most games have showed that. If you take it easy, you're going to be struggling as you go.
I've got to say, good to see Geordie Telfer back out there as well. The poor lad's he hasn't had much luck with injury over his career, has he? But he is a star when he's up and going.
Oh, look, he's a good footballer, and he's probably copped a few head knocks, and it's really taken a bit of him to get over them. And it's just trying to find that right spot for him. But floating across half-back, he can really do a fair bit of damage if you don't watch him closely.
We move to this week. Ramblers will have the bye, and let's start with your boys, Tumby Bay. You will head up the highway to Carcoo and take on the Eagles. Now, I looked at this fixture and thought, well, this will be a very, very good game of football in the A grade, but you guys missing a few?
Look, we've had a couple of injuries. It'll be interesting to see who we've got back, but look, it's always hard to tip against the Eagles. We've had a history of staying with them for a half or 3 quarters, and then them getting away from us for that last 25, 30 minutes. And I think that will probably be the way it will go again. We'll welcome a couple of blokes back, but I think the Eagles might just stay a little bit too strong and get over by 2 or 3 goals in the end.
Who's doing the rucking for the Eagles these days? And is John James making his way around again for Tumby?
He is, but he's not always in the ruck. We've got a couple of young McDonald boys, and it's good to put the young lads in there to cop the beating and let the old blokes just take it easy.
I can't believe you just called Nigel James an old bloke.
I can now.
And for those who are wondering, Nigel and John James are the same person. I think he was christened John, but prefers Nigel, does he not?
I think that is correct. He gets called John when he's in trouble, or they just want to get his attention.
Good stuff. Yeah, I think the Eagles for me too. I reckon this one's the match of the round, though, and it's a rivalry waiting to unfold, I reckon. They're in the same district council area. Lock taking on Elliston Districts. It's at Lock. Elliston Districts get to sample the donuts at Lock for the first time.
Oh, look, that's one of the highlights of going to Lock, I'm sure. The old donuts there, so... But I actually think Elliston Districts are probably just going to push Lock. It'll be if they can get that early break, they'll get over the top. It's a tough one to pick because they'll be coming from a small oval going to probably the biggest oval in Australia. But, yeah, I think Elliston Districts will clock up their first win for the year.
I remember calling a grand final in the Great Flinders Football League at Lock many years ago now, and it is not an exaggeration to say that at Lock, if you set up across the club room side, if you don't have a set of binoculars to look down the other forward pocket, you've got absolutely no idea what's going on. It is a big, big ground, Primey.
It is, and I think it used to be bigger. They've brought the boundary in on the far wing, quite away from the edge of the oval. I think it used to be right out there, and I felt sorry for the people that were running around there because it's not overly long, but you can get lost on the wings very easily. So that'll be the challenge for Elliston Districts when they go there.
They used to joke they didn't send the runners out to deliver messages there at Lock. They sent out the search party to try and find people. But I think it will be an eye-opener for the Elliston boys, as you say, who are used to that small oval there. I'm not sure if that'll have any say on the result. It might. I don't think there'll be much in it between these two, to be quite honest.
No, it will be a very tight game. It's hard to tip, but I'm hoping that Elliston Districts get up to their first win.
Here. I hope they do as well, but part of me just says I think Lock might get them, but we'll see. It should be a cracking game. Unfortunately, the next game we're going to talk about may not be. The Saints were obviously better last week, and they'll need to improve again because the litmus test awaits. Cummins Kapini Cougars will head down the highway to Ungara, and this could be anything. Oh,
it could be, and I think it's early season favouritism for the Cougars, but they're putting on a pretty good show most weeks, so they'll be pretty tough for the Saints. Once again, a young side, I think they'll push them for that first quarter, if they can hold them for that, and then they work back to the next one. But I think the Cougars will probably win by, let's go 60 plus, I reckon, in the end. It looks like forwards have a bit of a day out against the Saints at the moment, so that could mean a bit of bit of trouble.
Just on Ungarra, while we've got them up, we talked a little bit about their game last week, but I did notice the young Velasco boy from Lincoln has come up, and this boy can play, if you don't mind. That's Kobe Velasco. I think he's been up with Air United before, but he's played his first couple of senior games this season for them.
Oh, look, they've got a couple of young blokes up from Lincoln, and they are good footballers. It's just getting that feel. As you said, having Geordie Telfer back in there is a bit of a senior bloke, and the two Forest boys also, like, just give that bit of balance around the young fellas, and it's just whether the younger bodies can match it with the stronger, and I say fairly fit Cougars boys. That in country footy makes a fair difference. If you're the fittest side, you generally can run it out better.
I think we're both in agreement that Cougars get the job done here. Anything else to mention, mate, before we wrap up?
Oh, look, not really. I think we're all waiting for rain over here just to make the ovals soft. It's a little bit harsh on some of our old bodies and some of our younger ones. But yeah, a little bit of rain would be nice, and good luck to everyone Saturday, and make sure you say Happy Mother's Day to Mum on Sunday. Exactly
right. Be kind to your mum. That's our tip for the day, and we'll expect at least 5 out of you this week. The Eagles are a pretty good reserve side, but if Tumby are kicking 7, you've got to get 5 of them.
Jeez, I'll tell you what you are. Seasonally adjusted, that's 2.
All right, mate. All the best for the weekend, and we'll catch up with you next week.
No worries. Cheers, Rex.